Oh, that is one heck of an opening for a live stream. Yep, that's exactly what I did. I just stretched, I yawned, and guess who didn't care? This guy. Man, how's everybody doing? It is freaking Monday. All two people in here, man. It is okay. Me and Laura, we are holding it tight. Holding it tight. So yeah, I decided to jump on, get on, hang out, relax, chill, what have you. Had a little bit of day off. Daughter wasn't feeling too up to snuff today. So went and got her. So she's watching TV. She's doing her thing. You know, I'm just all over the Twitters lately, and so I go on there and well, first of all, let me start off by saying this: I woke up today super pumped up, man. Last night went to a concert and heard Game of Thrones. If you've been following Game of Thrones live, it was a fantastic concert. They had full orchestra. You know, they had effects going. They had fire popping off all over the place, and they had up on a big screen right behind them. They had a bunch of the show playing, and it was just phenomenal. It was everything that I wanted at a concert, man. It made me emotional. Now, Game of Thrones is my Star Wars. Okay. Star Wars is awesome. I've always had it as part of my childhood, as part of my upbringing and everything. It's always been part of my life. And I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. But I've always been more of a fantasy type person. It's just the way I worked. I don't know why. Fantasy and superheroes. And so Game of Thrones just really hit with me whenever it started. And I've just been a fan. And oh my word, it's just powerful. So when I watched that last night and I saw everything happening, and it was actually emotional. So I woke up just totally ready to just fight people and slay people, and I don't know. I didn't wake up really wanting to do that, but I mean I was pumped, man. I was pumped. So yeah, I left a few videos on Twitter recently, and I've been let's see. This weekend was actually decent. Went out with some of my best friends in the world. One of my best friends in the world, and another friend. And we got to go see Rambo. We made it the most toxic day you could think of. First off, we get in the car and we drive down the road and we go to a steakhouse. I was actually really disappointed because I ordered lots and lots of pork. I got half a rack of ribs. Man, what's up, Kermit? Bam! How you doing? Me and Kermit and Laura hanging out in here today. Let's shoot for some more people. Shoot for some girls. So it was a ton of fun. We go over there and start off, order all the meat I can. All right, no veggies allowed. I had half a rack of ribs. I had sausages, and I had pulled pork barbecue. Sausages, they were great. Then I got to the ribs. So disappointed. I had to cut through my ribs with a fork and knife, and even then it was hard. Half a rack of ribs, I was only able to eat like 3. I was so freaking ticked off, man. I can't even describe how ticked off I was. And then I got to the pulled pork, and it was gross and it was cold. It took forever for our food to get out there. I have a theory that that plate sat up on the pass for like 20 minutes before it was grabbed. So I complained a little bit about it, which I usually do not do, and they gave me $15 off. So that was all right. It was a $30 meal. It was a $30 plate of food. So for them to give me some money off, that was That was needed. It was very needed. So, oh, it was. Come on, I did say it was that bad. The sausages were pretty good, but by the time I was able to get to my barbecue, it was cold. It was room temperature. Oh, no, just wasn't happening. Just wasn't happening for me. So, so going on there, did my thing, and then we went and go see the movie. Okay, so if anybody happened to see, man, my computer sucks. It's such a piece of crap. I'm sorry. If anybody happened to see, no, sausage kind of girl. Touche. Well played. But we get to the movie and meet up with another friend, and all three of us, we're hanging out, and we're ordering just totally overpriced stuff. I love pork too, man. Pork. I'm making bacon wrapped chicken tonight, okay, with asparagus and zucchini. Semi-healthy, because I got some green stuff in there, but I'm not looking to be all toxic tonight, I guess. But anyways, we get into the movie theater. Movie starts. And now a couple people rail on me. I was trying to hold my tongue. Rated R for just gratuitous violence. Gratuitous violence. Everybody knows this. And there's parents walking in with their kids. And I'm sitting there I'm trying to bite my tongue as much as I can. I was like, this is so improper. I can't even believe it. But anyway, we sat through it. And the movie starts off. It's going good. It's going good. And, I mean, I went to see the movie for two reasons. Number one, I'm a huge, huge Rambo fan. But also, number two, and everybody could see this with me and Drunk and our other friend, we were intentionally trying to stick it to the SJWs that night. We wanted to be toxic just because screw them. And we wanted to see exactly how much toxicity existed in this movie. And so, yes, Jesse lets out a huge fart. I crop dusted a few people that night. It's true. It's true, man. It was simmering. And then I also had a rum and coke, man. You get the alcohol. Okay, what am I talking about? Get back on the trail, Jesse. This is my ADD kicking in. So we're watching the movie. Of course, it's violent. Of course, it's violent. Here's the best part, though. The place was packed. The place was absolutely packed. I'm getting all Donald Trumpy with my hands. The place was packed. And we go in there, and every time somebody died, every kill, there was a cheer from the crowd. Like, they started cheering. And especially towards the end of the movie, when it started picking up a lot more, and it was just like, oh man, he's about to open up. Because that happens in every movie, every Rambo movie. You know, he hits that point when he just opens up, and then boom, all it is just dead. All kinds of dead people all over the place. People falling out. People look at Rambo, and then their head explodes. That's exactly what type of violence we're talking about here. And every single time, the toxicity in the room grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew until the very end. People were standing up in the theater clapping and cheering. It was not even subtle either. It wasn't a subtle type of cheer. People were freaking proud to be in there and watching Rambo go nuts. Yeah, Rambo was laying down the hate. And so I have no freaking clue why in the world it was called, like, what is xenophobic? Like, I think xenophobic is when you have like phobia. Is it? I don't know. I'm not afraid of, like, homophobic. I'm not afraid of gay people. Okay, I love gay people. I'm not afraid of, like, transphobic or whatever. I'm not afraid of find a new way to screw up the English language by putting phobic on this. Whatever. Rabbit trail, Jesse. Come on. Yeah, fear of foreigners. That's it. Okay, xenophobic. That didn't make sense. I didn't see anybody pitching a fit whenever Liam Neeson had to go over there and deal with all the Ukrainian people in France. Nobody was touting xenophobic around then, were they? No, I mean, it's just the way the story's written. Nobody was counting Xenophobia in Rambo 4. He went over and ruined a bunch of people over in Burma. I mean, ruined them. People were exploding. Nobody called him xenophobic then. He's just going in there because that's part of the thing. But who am I? I'm just a regular guy. So that was a heck of a night. And then we went out drinking. Me and Drunk, we had some chilled monkey brains that night. Chilled monkey brains. What is Drunk? I know you're in here. What's the name of that? What's the name of that bar we went to? It's a bar in Disney Springs that is themed after Indiana Jones. Jacques, the guy that rides in the plane, in the very, very beginning of the first movie, is total Hangar Bar. That's it, Hangar Bar. That's one of my favorite places to go. Top of the line favorite places, and chilled monkey brains was amazing. It was great. I love that drink so much, and I want to get another one like now. It's time's it 3:10. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I don't care. I'm an adult. I do what I want. Who cares? I don't have anybody to answer to. And I'm married, so I don't have anybody to impress. So, anyways, I'll drink at 3:30. I don't care. I'll drink at 10. Fight me. So that was a great night. Great freaking night. And then I followed up last night with Game of Thrones live. It was amazing. It was awesome. So I don't know. I got pretty toxic this weekend. Got pretty freaking toxic. Not gonna lie, man. By the way, if anybody feels the need to want to, oh yeah. By the way, Drunk didn't see it. We had there was a dance party going around. Now, Drunk is not much of a dancer. He's more of a watcher of dancing, which is okay. Not all of us are meant to get out there and whatever that was. We're not all meant to do that. Okay. But I am. I'm meant to do that. Okay. I'm terrible at dancing. I don't know why I danced, but the DJ there was awesome. He did that Korean song from Psy, Gangnam Style, and mixed it with MC Hammer's Too Legit to Quit. Now that was actually he actually took that from a performance at the Grammys one time, I think, but still, no, the American Music Awards. But it was still, I love that one. We were dogging the dance floor, and we saw one of the most unsightly drunk women who did not tuck her shirt tail in, and she shouldn't have danced. It was funny because she had, I think it was either a boyfriend or husband or something that kept coming up to her and being like, stop, would literally try to calm her down. Stop it, just knock it off. This is embarrassing. And she would stare at him and he'd just be fuming. He would just be fuming. That was when the patriarchy lost right there. The patriarchy went down in flames with that lady that night. So that was that was incredibly funny that night. So I have to tell you, I love my friends so much. Drunk's in here, so he knows I'm talking about him because he's my best of my best. I love my friends so much. And I'm here to tell you, if anybody is in here that can listen to me, one thing that I want more than anything is people to be able to see how happy I am with my friends. It's the funniest thing ever. It's like for example, on Twitter, everybody knows I'm all over the place on Twitter. And me and Drunk have talked about this so much, is that whenever he and I banter back and forth, we get a lot of people commenting on our stuff. We get a lot of retweets of our stuff, and we get on some of his live streams sometime when we're driving to the place, and people are just loving it. People are freaking loving it, and I'm sitting there thinking, and me and Drunk are talking, and I'm like, you know what? The best part about all of this is all they're doing is seeing two best friends banter back and forth. That's it. We're not doing anything different than what we normally do in real life. And I'm telling you, I want that for everybody, man. I want everybody to be able to have that person you can hang out with and interact with. And, I want to banter back and forth with people. Anybody that's in here, we are banterable. Okay. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm reinventing the English language as we speak sometimes. But we can banter. We have the ability, the capacity to banter, and create relationships at the same time, man. That's what I'm about. I've gotten a couple DMs from people. They're like, Jesse, dude, are you really like that in real life? Because I mean, we'll be honest. A lot of people have personas. A lot of people have personas that they keep up online, on their YouTube, on Twitter, or whatever type of social media platform they have. And I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm worse in real life. I'm absolutely worse in real life, man. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. But I like to try to make sure. My thing is, here's my thing. So some people know, some people don't know. I'm not always the best representation, but I try my best. Now I'm a Christian, and I'm not one of those judgy type Christians or whatever. But to use one of the Christian analogies, an overflowing cup or whatever. Okay, I hated that song, the running or whatever. Anyways, anybody that knows Sunday school knows that song. So I was like, dude, how do you freaking survive going from 0 to 100 every day? Anytime you're around people, anytime you're talking to people, man, it's just like, how do you keep that up? And really what it is I just have a joy in life, man. I like investing in people, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, man, I'm just full of energy. I'm full of whatever you want to call it. I don't know. And I'm just hoping that maybe somebody can catch an excess of my zest, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's that. I am really this crazy in real life, and I want to be crazy with other people, man. I'm telling you, I really do. So I've been on the Twitterverse and everything. Was checking everything out, and especially since by the way, if you're in here, everybody knows I make some really subpar videos. I'm okay with that. That's my thing. I don't mind making crappy videos, except for my music video. Love that thing, man. I had a lot of hard work on that with some people. Hold up. I'm cool with Christians as long as you do you and leave me alone. I'm telling you what, Laura, number one, actually, it's big time, no hate. Absolutely no hate. I know half the time I know way cooler gay people than I do cool Christians. It's just the way it is, man. I'm not about hate. My thing is I would rather love somebody for who they are. And I'm not one of the type of people that's preachy. I'm not one of the type of people that just comes out and say, do you have time to sit down and read over this pamphlet or whatever? My thing is I just like to live. And it comes around. Somebody will ultimately say, Jesse, what makes you tick, man? Why are you the way you are? That's it. If they feel like they want to know, I'll tell them. If they don't, guess what? Let's hang out and let's have a beer anyway. I don't care. Take you out for a beer. I had a flask at Rambo. I had a flask and we finished it. It had Fireball whiskey in it and it was so good. So good. Anyways, what was I saying? This is, I hope you guys can keep up with my rabbit trails, man. I hope y'all can keep up with my rabbit trails. I don't stay focused all that much sometimes. But, yeah, especially since this Rambo movie's come out and everything, man, there's just been a lot of crap going on about Christianity with a flask. I'm gonna get one that says WWJD on it. That way people can wonder, what would Jesus do when I'm drinking some Fireball whiskey? I told you, this is just me. I don't pretend to be any type of Christian. I don't pretend to be the cookie cutter Christian or whatever. This is just me, man. I'm telling you, I don't like to front. So it's been hitting off. I've been looking on the Twitter especially and seeing a lot of the hate for Phantom Menace people, man. What's up with that? And it's, I mean, I deal with this a lot of times, and like I, just talking a little bit about my faith, I guess. Well, faith, as a talking flask too. It's like, man, people delivering a lot of doggone hate, and I've been listening and watching a lot of what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has been talking about. Some things from that Star Wars girl. If anybody ever gets a chance to watch a video where Jeremy actually talked to some of his, haters or people that disagreed with him, that was awesome. I loved watching that video. I watched it today. But I've been looking at some of these tweets, which I don't hold. I'm not one of the people that takes a lot of tweets seriously. I know that people get a certain type of audacity when they sit behind a computer, and they can be whoever they want to be. They can write whatever they want to write, and it's just it just sucks, man. But as I'm watching, and I'm reading everything. Yeah, Black Angus. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of stuff. There's people reading. I'll give you a quote from one of the things I've been reading. It says, I don't need, this is just somebody. I made screenshots of it and everything. I'm not like about posting screenshots and all that crap, but there was this one person that said, I don't need to explain how they are a hate group, referring to the Phantom Menace. Okay. The group exists in all capitals, by the way, TO. The group exists to hate and argue and find any excuse to cause drama. Oh yeah, you know her. And I looked at it, and I had a back and forth with somebody a little bit in their comment section, because I actually responded. I'm like, why don't we talk about it a little bit? Because I find that 95% of the time, people disagree with stuff because of a misunderstanding. It's like one side doesn't try to understand the other side. And I was like, why don't we talk about it? I left that in the section, and then somebody says, hold on one second. So what? In the medicine cabinet. Get you a stool. Like I said, my oldest daughter, has a little bit of a sore throat today, so I've got to help her out just a little bit. And somebody responded and says, you can't argue with these people. You can't make these people see something and this and that. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. I didn't quote that word for word, but that's just an example of something. I'm like, well, of course you can. She hasn't tried to get to know me. I agree with most of what the Phantom Menace says, not everything. And I absolutely, by the way, agree that there are nut jobs on both sides of the fence here. There are some freaking nut jobs in the SJW, but guess what? There are some nut jobs in the Phantom Menace. I'm not going to point you out. Probably you're not smart enough to know who you are, because crazy people don't know they're crazy. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Talk amongst yourselves. I've got to walk 30 feet over there, get my daughter a cough drop, and I'm going to be right back. I'll give you a topic to talk about. Okay. Y'all chat this up in the chat. Okay. Rhode Island. It's neither a road or an island. Why? Discuss. Coming. All right. Dude, everybody stayed. Dude, everybody stayed. That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. So, but anyways, is that there are nut jobs on both sides. There's some nut jobs in the Phantom Menace too. We have each other's back. That's for freaking sure. Or sometimes when we start crap, it doesn't need to be started. I'm more along the lines. My thing is, I laugh people off. I freaking laugh people off because the best way to argue my point is to let them talk more and more and more and more and more. I mean, it's just the way it is. They talk themselves into. It's nuts. But but this this girl, I don't think this person's probably ever sat down and had a conversation with a single person in the fandom. And I'm sitting there like, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I love trying to understand people. That's just part of what makes us a person. Here's a good example. This is a true story. I'm not making this up, okay? Not this past Friday, but the Friday before. I come home from work. I make it home about 5:15 from work. And on Fridays, my wife doesn't make it home till about 6:30. So there's a little gap where I've got some time to chill and everything. And so I'm watching TV, and I hear a knock at the door. And I'll walk out, and I'll look through the window, and I see it. Two guys standing at my door. The Mormon guys are at my door. Now, 99% of everybody just let them go, or they'll open the door and say, "Get off my porch," or whatever. What does old Jesse do? Open the door and talk to him. 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, they're telling me about their faith. And being a Christian guy, believe it or not, I actually have a degree in religion, and studied to be a minister at one point. I'm not doing that now. Get into that. You want some stories about why I am that? You can DM me on the Twitters. I'll tell you all about it. But I am still strong in my faith, and so I am not the type of Christian that agrees by any means. I don't agree by any means that Christians and Mormons are of the same faith. They are not. They are absolutely not. But tons of respect. And so I decided to open the door and have a conversation with them and let them give me their spiel and everything. I said, guys, just so you know, I'll let myself be known. I said, just so you know, I am not on board with you, with your beliefs. I'm not on board with your version of this. I've done my studying. I've done my research, to figure out why I believe what I believe. And I said, that's just not me. And so they're like, no, they did the door-to-door Mormon thing. Well, is there a time we could maybe come back and, talk to you about the Book of Mormon and this and that? And in Jesse fashion, I looked at him dead in the eye and I said, yes, you can. You can. So last Wednesday night, 7:00, I have two Mormons come back to my house, same guys, and they sat down in my living room for an hour and a half. Now, the best thing about it is the first 45 minutes, we didn't talk about anything that had to do with faith. Not one thing that had to do with faith. We talked about DC and Marvel, and we talked a little bit about music because they were, one of them was a musician, and so we got to talk a little music and everything. It was great. Then we hit on the faith thing for the last 45 minutes, and what I said the difference was, I'll let them give me their spiel, and I said I've studied, I know my stuff, and I hit them with counterpoints. I counterpointed a lot of different things. Well, not a lot of different things. I asked them questions that had to do more with, why don't you tell me why it is you believe what you believe? Like, I wanted to understand what is it about Mormonism that has changed your life or that has affected you for the better. And, I'll let them tell me about themselves, per se. So I say that, and we ended the night not agreeing with each other at all. We ended the night with me telling them that I think they're wrong, that I think that they are not on the right path. However, I have their cell phone numbers, and we're texting every other day, and we're not talking about anything that has to do with religion. We're talking about going to play golf one time. We're talking about maybe going out to eat sometime. I mean, where is it that this kind of thing can't happen anymore, man? A bunch of guys now that just don't see eye to eye on a very important thing to me, on a very important thing to them. How can we not do this? And so I'm sitting there as we're working full circle back to the tweet. I'm like, we don't have to agree. People don't have to agree on this stuff, man. Just the act of reaching out in itself shows integrity. The act of having a dialogue shows integrity. And that's why, like, getting back to Jeremy's stream that I didn't get to watch last night. I was at the concert, but I watched today, and it was a very awesome stream. Especially one of the first guys on there. His name was Hugh Jass, and he was apparently I didn't get too much of the backstory on him, but he was not too much on board with Jeremy and the Geeks and Gamers thing or whatever. But as he's talking, by the way, I got a cough drop and crunch. I'm gonna show you if you hear the thing. This London's, they're really good. I don't even have a sore throat. I just sucked on it because let me rephrase that. I put it in my mouth because it tasted good. That's what she said. So he's on there, and he's sitting there saying, he talked to Jeremy for a little bit. He's like, man, I apologize for this. I didn't really see things this way. So yeah, and then goes back and starts tweeting a couple different things. Oh, thanks, Kermit. I'm easy to listen to. You know what? I actually hate my voice. I grew up in North Carolina, and a lot of the place where I grew up in central North Carolina in a city called High Point. And the surrounding areas, Kernersville and Colfax and Yadkinville and Ashboro and Archdale. I mean, these are like redneck meccas, man. I like the way I sound whenever I'm talking, but whenever I hear myself back, no. And I guess I have a redneck or a little twang in me, I guess. I've done so much I can do to try to hide that. Because it's so thick with people up there. My brother lives in Raleigh. He's a doctor now, and he's a doctor in business psychology. He's a smart one in my family. But yeah, I tried so hard to hide my accent and everything. Hold on just 1 second. Got to do a daddy thing. Yeah, baby. Okay, sit in there and watch TV with your sister just a minute, and I'll be done in just a little while. Okay, love you. Okay, my kids are awesome. Just so you know. Anyway, yeah, I say all that to say I hate my voice. But anyways, getting back to the Hugh Jass on literally Hugh Jass. That's his name right there. Boom. So I was, I was following that, and I was like, after I listened to the stream today, I went to kind of look up to see if he tweeted anything afterwards or whatever. Now, another member of the Geeks and Gamers group that I have an immense amount of respect for is that Star Wars girl. I try. So this is going to sound really bad, but it's totally not meant to be sound bad. But I follow her quite a bit, not like the stalking type thing or whatever, but she puts out a lot of really good material that I read and follow and stuff, and especially when she gets on, and does some things for Geeks and Gamers. But she went through a hard time one time, and then had some people just say some very, very, very terrible things to her. And I definitely don't have the type of Twitter following or YouTube following that somebody like her has, but I'm sitting there, and everything inside of me is just like, oh my word, I want to write her a letter. I want to do this. I want to encourage her so much because she's going through all this stuff. So if she ever watches this, just know you got a huge fan right here. Be sure you tell her Jesse's a fan. But here comes Hugh afterwards, and he tweets this. He tweeted this, and crap, come on. Said, I wouldn't feel right ending the night without making my public apology to that Star Wars girl. I won't make any excuses for my comments, so I will say that making them didn't help her family, or the community at large. It was an opportunity for me to be an a-hole. I would normally read that. My kids are in the room. And he even commented later on, said, I regret taking the opportunity to be that a-hole and wish nothing but peace for you and your family going forward. So I would say that I love when freaking things like that happen, man. That's integrity, freaking integrity, man. I freaking love integrity, and seeing that somebody, and that's what I was saying back. That's what I was saying back a little bit earlier. Is a lot of times if people just sit down, and try to understand one another, man, so much better stuff can go on. It's amazing. But there's just some people out there that are looking to be butthurt for the sake of being butthurt. That's the thing that's ticking me off right now. That's the thing that's really upsetting me, is because there are people. I'm sure you probably read this tweet too. It's this is happening. This is happening. A big thing. I'm not going to get into it too much because I know a little bit more than the average person knows. But there was my best friend in the world drunk, and I'm not going to tell the story or get into it or in any way, shape, or form because this is his story to tell, and so he can tell it way, way better than me. But he was supposed to be on a podcast. He had somebody kind of disagreeing with him in every turn, and drunk just reached out. He was like, he finally reached out to him personally. He's like, hey, what's the deal? Do you want to say something? You want to have a talk? And finally, they talked a little bit, and he's like, hey, how about you be on my podcast? Now, this podcast has had the likes of Mark Hamill on it. This guy's a big guy, man. And he invited Drunk to be on it, and they actually recorded it. And this is all public. You can see this on Twitter. Around the Galaxy podcast is the guy, and knowing what I know is that there is now still a bit of a mutual respect there. They have a little bit of an understanding, but he decided not to air the podcast, and there was some serious things. Serious things. There was shade that was thrown, and like one of them in this little thread says, my relatively small interactions with Phantom Menace people have honestly made me not care what they have to say. I've been verbally harassed, threatened with physical violence, etc. Now, not all of them are like that, of course, but when they say they speak for Phantom Menace, that says volumes. Well, that got challenged, by a lot of people saying, "Listen, where's your proof? Where's your proof of this?" And he goes, his response is, "Actually, I blocked them, ignored them because they're just really unhinged." He called them actually ignored a clearly unhinged keyboard warrior. Why keep proof? Well, I'm getting ready to explain that to you. For their eventual trial? Nah, it's not for me. Thanks, though. Why keep proof of this type of stuff? Let me tell you, by the way, I'm sorry I haven't, my StreamYard's not really not registering the chats very, very quickly. So forgive me if I haven't been responding too much. Okay. Let me see. Concord. I like Concord. I like going to the mall there, and it's almost on my way to see my family in Charlotte. And I have visited San Francisco, by the way, Kermit. I have visited San Francisco, and that was back when I was in middle school, so it was 20 some years ago when it was still nice. But yeah, come on down to Florida, man. We'd love to have you. All right. So it wasn't the around. This is another guy, by the way. This wasn't the Around the Galaxy that made this comment. This was somebody else responding to his comment. So just put that. It scares me too, Kermit. But it's part of what makes it fun. This wasn't Around the Galaxy that actually made that comment about being threatened with physical violence and stuff. But he got challenged. He got challenged by people, and he's like, "Man, I didn't keep any evidence of this. Are you kidding? Why would I ever keep evidence of it?" Well, I'm here to tell you why. Okay? Because number one, and this is coming from somebody that does align with the Phantom Menace. Okay? You keep evidence of this stuff because when it comes down to it, I absolutely detest the threat of physical violence to anybody. As you've seen, I've had people in my house, on my couch, right over there. Crap! Oh, I knocked my phone off. Right over there. Okay, there you go, sitting on those couches, and they were talking to me about things that I 100% absolutely disagreed with. Okay, and so if someone were to threaten them with physical violence, though, on behalf of, let's say, we're talking about faith, so some Christian in the name of Christ threaten physical violence on them, I would absolutely detest that. And I would absolutely fight that Christian on their behalf. And I don't care. I would do that. I would fight somebody in the Phantom Menace if they tried to go after somebody that they didn't agree with. There, said it. Okay, that is not a cool thing to do. So the reason you keep this is so that whenever it comes down to it, people like me and other like-minded people can stand up for you and stand against somebody that supposedly uses our name. When I say our name, we're not a group of people. We don't pay memberships to some Phantom Menace. It's just what we align with, or whatever. And so I'm sitting there thinking, the reason you save this stuff is number one, so that we know you're not full of crap. We'll be honest about that, okay? But I would save that stuff too, because if you disagree with me, then you have every right to believe that of me. Jesse, are you full of crap? Jesse, you full of crap? Say no. And here's how you know. Okay? The extremists want to talk to the Phantom Menace to try to discredit us. But then when we are rational people, they want to delete the conversation. Say no to extreme people, both of you guys. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't have a need. It's kind of ironic. I don't have a need to be liked by strangers. I like to, but I get along just fine if I deleted my Twitter, deleted my YouTube account. I'll be just fine. I'll be just fine, man. Discredit me all you want to. I'm not out there to meet anybody's approval. Like I said, and you've seen, I don't front who I am. I'm exactly this type of person. I'm exactly this type of person in real life that I am on Twitter. I say stupid and retarded things. And by the way, I'm sorry if retarded is not the thing. I still use that term. It's not a derogatory thing. It's just what I grew up with. It's just who I am. I don't care if you try to discredit me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm man enough to know that. Okay, we may not get along. But that's the thing is, I will speak to you on facts. I will absolutely speak to you on facts. But I want to try to understand, whatever your feelings are. I want to try to understand them. And that's the thing. So, number one, I want to make sure that you're not full of crap. When you say you delete tweets, I say you need to keep the tweets so that I know you're not full of crap, number one. But number two, I want to see the evidence so that I can know to stand up for you. I will absolutely go to bat for anybody that has some type of injustice against them. I really actually do have a superhero complex sometimes. I'm not quiet about things that I think are unfair. I'm not quiet about things that are, I hate bullies. I absolutely hate bullies. Like, that is one thing that will get me violent. I'm a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo, 1st degree black belt in Hapkido, 1st degree black belt in Philippine Kali, and I've also taken Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Wing Chun Kung Fu, and Jeet Kune Do. Why does that matter? I don't know. All I know is that it makes me want to take out every freaking skill I have to fight a bully. I can't stand bullies at all. And that goes to both sides of the argument. If there are Phantom Menace people that are out there that are being the type of jerks that we detest, then I want to stop them too. I don't want there to be people on our side that are acting like the type of people that we're speaking against on the other side. Never, never, ever, ever, ever. And really, like, when I think about what does it mean to be part of the Phantom Menace, I'll say it like this. I think it's just, I'll look at it like this. I'm a free thinker. I don't align with the same thing that everybody in the fandom aligns with. Okay. Look, there are people that I may disagree with in some way, shape, or form, whether it be about the way they align personally, their choices in movies or video games or whatever. The fact of the matter is that these things are okay to disagree on. All right. It doesn't matter how deep it gets. Kermit, you and I, you may like country music. I can't stand country music, to be quite honest with you. I've been a musician since I was 6 years old. I've been playing guitar for 20 years. I can't stand country music, but it's something I'm not going to call you a racist over or anything like that. Laura, Laura's in here. The thing is, I'm part of a faith. I hit on my faith a little bit earlier. I'm part of a faith that, a lot of people like yourself have reason to hate. And I understand that. I understand why. I hate the fact that we've had to have reason to be hated on from time to time. But I absolutely 100% love you, and I don't want to change anything about you. We can do that. That is okay. That's freaking okay. I don't understand why people can't get that concept, man. Can't understand that crap, man. And so, I mean, number one, agree with me, disagree with me. I freaking love you. I want to hang out with you. I want you to be part of my life. I want you to be part of my story. I want to be part of your life. I want to be part of your story. I hated The Last Jedi. Hated The Last Jedi. It was so bad. And I know this, The Last Jedi has been 2.5, 3 years ago, or whatever. But The Last Jedi was so bad, in my opinion, that it ruined The Force Awakens for me. I enjoyed The Force Awakens. I'll say it. I really did enjoy The Force Awakens. I thought it was a good take. I really even like J.J. Abrams on it. There's a couple things that I didn't really like about it. But overall, I thought The Force Awakens was a decent movie. And I absolutely loved the build-up, the climax to that entire episode was seeing Luke. Okay? Luke, he is the superhero of superheroes in Star Wars. There is no person that can touch him. He is who I would look up to. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Laura, man. Much love. And I agree with that last one too. It's but I really can't it was let me see, The Force Awakens build up to Luke right there. You see him, he puts up his little robot hand, and then boom, the movie ends, and you're like, oh, this next movie is going to be so good. And then here comes Rey, hands Luke the lightsaber, and what does he do? Like a vagina. By the way, there's power in vaginas. I get that. No worries. But, and I use that term to say he acted like I can't say the other word because my kids are 20 feet away from me. Okay, but you know what I'm talking about. He just tosses it over his shoulder. I couldn't believe that. And because of that, it ruined the climax for the first movie and pissed me off so badly. So badly. I couldn't believe it. It doesn't mean I'm a racist. Where in the world does that, in what universe does that make sense that all these social justice warriors, those people with Lucasfilms are like, oh man, he's a racist. He's a misogynist. He's like, what does that even have to do with this movie? It doesn't have anything to do with the movie. I freaking watched Leia come alive in the dead of space. The freaking dead of space. And even that was so bad. It was so bad, like she opened her eyes and then didn't even move. It's like somebody went into Microsoft Paint, cut all around her, and decided to use a mouse and just scroll her across the screen. That's how bad that shot was. It was terrible. Let's not get into how stupid Rose Tico's part was. Let's not get into, I've only watched I've watched it 4 or 5 times because I try to discover things that maybe I missed or something like that. Just, oh man, it was a steaming bowl of hot diarrhea is what it was. And I loathed it. I loathed it. There are people in Phantom Menace that actually like that movie. Whoa, Bianca, what's up? How we doing? Man, you need a flying Leia mouse pointer. That would be awesome. Please, wherever you find a flying Leia mouse pointer, that would be the epitome of awesomeness in my, for me. So we'll work on that. So that's my thing is, Phantom Menace, when I see that, I'm just like, man, we're free thinkers. Some people like The Last Jedi, some don't. Some people are vegetarians. Some people aren't. Some people are, we're hate groups and we're sexist and we're homophobic. I know, I know so many homosexuals, and they're wonderful, fantastic people. I know some, I know a couple transgender. They are fantastic and wonderful people, and I'm sitting here being called a transphobe for all of this stuff, and I'm sitting there like, what are you talking about? Just talk to me, just talk to me, and let me tell you what I'm about. Let me tell you what I'm about. I'm begging. And like I said, man, I'm not trying to act like I got some type of a man crush on Jeremy, because somebody needs to cancel his channel, man. He's just full of toxicity. Cancel Jeremy. But I'm sitting there though watching his stream from yesterday. I'm like, man, I'm so glad somebody finally did this. Sat down and they're like, hey, you disagree with me? Come on, let's talk. Let's talk. If you want to cuss me out, fine, cuss me out. And then after you're done with your little hissy fit, then we can get down to brass tacks on things. That's fine. Let's do it. So I freaking love that. I freaking love that. And it's gotten to a point now. It's gotten to a point now where some of this is, it's totally incredible being me sometimes, in the sense that I'm brushing shoulders with some really, really cool people, and even some people that you would call, say, I don't know, you look up to in one way, shape, or form, either on YouTube or on Twitter, something like that. It's I'm incredibly, incredibly lucky. I'm a little guy that's got maybe not even 500 Twitter followers, and I've got what 216 YouTube followers. I haven't posted anything in months because my computer sucks. I've got ideas in my head. I've got things that I want to do. I can't afford a new computer right now, and my computer's just a piece of crap, man. It really is. I just want a new computer so that I can make new content, and it's probably looking towards Christmas that it's going to end up happening. But at the same time, though, I'm still getting a lot of love from people because I'm sitting there with greats like Drunk 3PO that's got 4,000, 5,000 Twitter followers and subscribers. I'm able to get a couple retweets from Jeremy, and I'm able to talk to another few people here and there, and it's just been great. And I'm seeing just some really, really bad hate, and Drunk is I always try to throw out his channel because he's my best friend, but at the same time, man, I know the guy too. He's got a couple YouTube videos, and he's got a couple YouTube videos where he kind of highlights some of the oh yes, Laura, look at that. Oh yeah, I forgot. By the way, this is only the second time I've ever actually hosted a stream with StreamYard, and so I forget that I can throw these things up there, man. Look at that, man. I'm gonna throw up a little Bianca, whatever. So, anyways, and there's old Kermit, man. I've got to show love to everybody. Anyways, so I'd seen that Drunk has a couple videos where he highlights some of these pretty crazy comments, and it's not a secret. You go watch a few of his videos, especially some of the ones that have been hitting a lot more, and go down and just see some of the stuff that people are leaving for him, and it's sad because I'm like, who thinks of this stuff, man? Who in the world freaking thinks of this stuff? But the thing is, too, is I'm sitting there also kind of thinking to myself, I can't believe, if you only knew who you're talking about, man, you would totally change your mind. Change your mind. Was that ultra redneck sounding? That sound, I could even hear my own twang in that, man. That's how bad that one was. I'm sitting there though thinking to myself, man, if you only knew the guy that if you only knew the guy that you're talking about, you would totally change. I lost my train of thought with this one right here. This little girl. Hey baby, what you doing? What you doing? Just staring at yourself on the thing. Kermit, later, brother. Say bye, Kermit. Never mind. Whatever.
Daddy.
What?
Why does your head go that way instead of this way?
I don't know. I'm not into technology, baby. I don't have explanations for things. I'm just a normal guy trying to live his life as best as I can. You know. So, anyways, let me get on that. Oh, so yeah. By the way, that's my youngest right there. Go finish watching TV. I'm about done. Okay. So anyways, where was I, man? Before the cuteness overload just kind of overtook. Oh yeah. Um, oh yeah. I was getting on the fact that some of these guys say some absolutely terrible things. Don't even know the people that they're talking about, man. Um, Doggone if they just knew the people that I knew. Um, if they knew the fact that I've been to an entire another country with a guy that they're trashing, and just seen him working with orphans and working with the people that they say that they're going out to defend. I'm like, man, you just have no freaking idea, man. Um, and I'm telling you what, when I was raising money, because Drunk and I went to El Salvador together, and Drunk and I went to El Salvador together, and it was a life changing experience. We went down there. For anybody that hasn't heard our tale of travels, if you will. We went down there to work with an organization that's assisting a lady who was housing children of prostitutes, and those kids were awesome. Those kids were freaking amazing. And we go down there. There's a lady named Tiana who wakes up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning and goes to bed every night at 11 o'clock. She's been doing this for 32 years. And we went down there. Their house, I don't know, maybe 1,300 square feet, with one really really bad shower in there, or a really bad bathroom in there. And at the time, she was housing 18 kids, 18 kids, ages like 4 or 5 to 19. Not only that, I went down there with them. I didn't have to put in hardly any of my own money. People from the fandom, the racist people from the fandom sent me money. They sent me money. They didn't even know me. I remember, I always talk about Thomas Gilkey. You guys may or may not know who Thomas is if you ever watch this. But he was the first person in the fandom to donate to me. And he donated quite a bit over the course of 5 or 6 months. And I remember the first time he donated to me, I went on somebody else's stream to promote a different charity, a different cause, 100%. I happened to mention, they asked me to mention mine and what we were going to do because it was still pretty early in the game. I had no clue who Thomas Kilkey was. Thomas Kilkey had no clue who I was, other than that random stream that we happened to be at the same time. He happened to be listening while we were on there, and it was like, huh, I'm going to go on and get him. And he starts donating money to me without even knowing me. Without even knowing me, man. I mean, this is the heart of people that are being trashed, man. That are being just drugged through the mud, only because we don't like the Last Jedi and stuff like that, man. Get real. Get a freaking life. Take time to get to know me. Get to know us, man. Understand that we can disagree and still have a drink at the end of the day. But anyway, that was my 1 hour and sickle. And I hope it's 4:00 in the afternoon. It's not really prime time to be streaming by any means. I had 3 or 4 people show up, but much love to everybody, man. Hit me up on the Twitters. DM me if you ever want to talk about anything whatsoever. I got you, man. Much love. And let me see. When is it going to end? Oh, yeah, it usually takes